I'll see you later.
Okay. Yeah.
I can hear Dr. Kate. Can you?
Yeah, I can.
Can the camera?
Yes.
Hi. I get to go when I want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Hello, Lumineers. My name is Maitland, and you're watching the Lighter Side Show.
Good.
Do you ever realize how funny the skin is on your elbow?
I was actually just playing with it the other day.
Isn't it
Yeah,
weird?
it's a weird skin.
My grandmother used to call it a coin purse. Hers was very long. And she said you could put coins in it. Today we're going to talk about electromagnetic frequency fields from your electronics and how they affect your energy. But I get to do housekeeping notes and let you know what is going on. So if you are a new Lumineer and you're watching this and wondering why my eyes are closed and who I am, my name is Maitland, Maitland, and I've been with Jamie for, how old is she? What year is this?
She's 43. Right? She's
44.
44. She's 44.
I've been with her since she was 21. 23 years. And I was the first spirit that she learned how to trance channel. And what you are watching right now is trance channeling. So I am using her body to communicate to you. And this is something that Jamie has been teaching in mediumship classes, and she has broken it down into 3 classes. One is a basic class, and the basic class is online, so you can be anywhere you want, and it's coming up in July. It's July 14th and 21st. And then there's an intermediate class where you get to learn more about energy and how to communicate to spirits. And that's online in August, and it's August 11th and 18th. And then for those who have already gone through the advanced mediumship class, we're going to do a practice. I'm going to be there teaching a lot of it. And that's going to be in person at the Center for Love and Light in August. And that's the weekend of the 25th. And it's advanced mediumship practice. And I hope to see you there, because I will say that anybody who comes through the classes, whether it's online, no matter where you are or what language you speak, I can speak that language. And I'll come and visit you, and I'll come say hi. So if you're interested, it's a safe place to try it out. That's all the housekeeping notes. So now I get to talk about what I want to talk about, which is electromagnetic frequency fields and your energetic field. And I think the easiest way to explain electromagnetic frequency fields is in terms of sound. And because I think everybody can understand sound waves and understand, like, the high-pitched sounds have a higher frequency and the lower-pitched sounds have a lower frequencies. And these wavelengths are measured in hertz. And there's a whole lot of scientific evidence now that measures the effects of certain hertz on the physical body and on the emotional effects of the hertz in the environment or what you're listening to. So there's been a ton of studies on how sound affects emotions and how sound affects healing. And so we can take that as an example and kind of translate it into electromagnetic frequency. So an electromagnetic frequency is sound radio frequency. It can be the electromagnetic frequency from your microwave, which is very low. It can be from your cell phone. It can be from the radio, the internet, the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. It can be more severe and higher frequency like gamma rays and X-rays. And it can also be lower frequencies such as MRIs, and I already mentioned appliances, anything that has electricity. So what happens is the scientists have done a lot of study about the physical body because that's what they can see. But for us, for the Lumineers, when you're looking at your physical body, you're also very aware of your energetic body, which is very big. It can be up to, well, it can be bigger than that, but on an average, if you can spread out your arms, that's an average of how big your energetic field is. And then depending on your emotional state, if you're really happy and full of joy, it's much bigger than that. And if you're really scared or depressed or in safety mode, then it can be smaller than that. So your electric body, your energetic body is much bigger, and it's responding to EMFs, like in your computer and your iPad and your cell phone, which a lot of you are probably on right now as you're watching my face. So we're going to talk about that. You can't see Colleen's face, but she's behind the camera. She was laughing. So, it's itchy. Okay. When you're around your computer and your cell phone and your iPad and wireless internet and you're around Bluetooth, things like your security system in your home has wireless, where it talks to the windows and it talks to the door and it calls people for you. Even smoke detectors now have wireless. Even your air conditioning unit dial is now sometimes wireless. And all of this is running through you, your energetic field. It's running through your body, and it is creating a touch. It's creating a change. So with electromagnetic frequencies, they vibrate in a way where it can disturb your natural frequency of your own body and how you resonate. So this can then slow down the vibration of your energy. And sometimes if you're around it a lot, let's say if you have a job where you have to be on the computer or on the internet all day and then you have to go home and do more work on it, or if you're a student and that's all you're doing is you're on the computer and researching, and then you're at home watching your lighter side network on your iPad or Hulu or Netflix, you're constantly putting those EMFs into your energetic field, and it can change the way that your energetic field behaves. And when this happens, it can then begin to affect you emotionally. If you're around it a lot, it can change your energetic field, and when it does, it changes your emotions, because yes, we call ourselves human beings, but we're really emotional beings. Our emotions are the most very important thing that governs and runs our experience as being here. So when you want to achieve something, when you want to learn something, when you want to go somewhere, the first thing that I would say to look at is how you feel emotionally to it, or where is your emotional standard towards that topic or that situation. And the EMFs can scramble that ability for you. So you know the was it OCD? Isn't that when people are they go back and they do it again and they do it again and they do it again?
Mm-hmm. Obsessive compulsive.
Obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. Computers, phones, iPads, apps, emails, and texts and Snapchats and all these things feed the training of OCD, because it was thought a long time ago that when you had this disorder before computers and internet was around, that it was something that you were born with, or that it was a chemical imbalance in the brain. But now scientists are finally saying, well, guess what? You can actually train yourself to have OCD. It's almost like a Pavlov's law. Do it again.
Pavlovian.
Pavlovian. Do
It's
it
good.
again.
It's close. I think that's.
Do it again.
Pavlovian, right?
Pavlovian
Go.
law, where the bell rings and the dog gets the food. That's the one. And we've trained ourselves that when we get a text or when we get an email or when we get a message, that we're getting a gift and that it feels important and that it's wonderful. And so we constantly will check our phone to see who's reaching out to us, what do they want, how do they do, whether we respond or not. It's a training that we get a reward every new time we engage in that application or that email or the text or the Snapchats or the Instagrams or the Facebooks or whatever. So it keeps you coming back and looking at it. And so we've now discovered, scientists have now discovered that you can train yourself to have OCD. And when you're training yourself with OCD, it overwhelms the part of the brain that does natural creativity or desires space to daydream or think. It starts to become a bully, and it starts saying, no, don't rest. If you rest, you're not getting the rewards of all these texts and these emails and these dings and that funny cat app that tells you that you have to come feed it and talk to it and stuff to keep it alive. And then you don't take the break and you don't rest. And so what this does is when you're training your brain to do this, the brain's needs are challenging your emotional state, and then that's challenging the way that you put out your energy. So then your energetic field will change to meet it, because your energetic field's not going to fight you. It's not going to have a voice of its own and say, hey, this doesn't need to be like this. You weren't like this before, and fight against it. Energetic field is, it's a pattern of who you are on the inside. You know, it's a show and tell of who you are on the inside. So it's not going to talk back at you and have you change it. So it has to be a mental discipline when we're working with the internet and the computers and the iPhone and tablets. Or it's not all iPhones, but cellular phones and tablets. The other thing that these portable devices do is that the EMFs that are emitted, if you carry them on you all the time, or if you do all the work with your laptop on your lap, or if you carry your cell phone in your pocket, or some people keep it in their shirt or their bra, or put it on their bed at night and sleep next to it, that it is an electrical device that is running and constantly receiving signals and messages. And when it's doing that, it's like sleeping next to an antenna or a radio tower. And all these changes in the electric signals are coming through your body to go to the instrument. And I know there's a huge conflict on Earth on whether or not the EMFs cause cancer or any kind of physical ailments or diseases or imbalances and things of that nature. As it just goes off right there, that was perfect timing. That some say yes and some say no, then some say, oh, we need more time to look at it. But I'll just say this. The EMFs that come off of Wi-Fi, your laptop, your GPS machine thing, it does affect the physical body, period. It alters the physical body, period. That's the end of the sentence. And some people are more sensitive to it. If you are a more sensitive person, then these physical effects will develop into imbalances that will develop into cancers. Some people will have the effect but it doesn't bother them at all. Not for their whole life. That's just like how some people can eat certain foods and they don't have an allergy to it, and some people can't eat those certain foods. It's the same thing with EMFs. You can see it almost as an allergy, if that makes more sense to you in your brain. So if you find that you are having headaches, fogginess, dizziness, even the lack of wanting to eat, disturbances in your sleep, and you are having these kinds of symptoms, then I would look at EMFs and look at how to change your lifestyle to be around lesser EMFs. So I would look on a grand scale and look at where you live. Are you living near any cell towers? Because that's going to be a big one. So when Jamie sets the intents and the energy around the spaces, she also sets the intent for the EMFs around the space, not just emotions and thoughts and energy and spirit, but also EMFs. Now, does that work? I'll tell you this. If you believe in it, it works. If you don't believe you can do this and you don't believe it works, it doesn't work for you. It's amazing how energy does that with you. It has to be powered by your absolute belief, support, and trust in it. Because if that's not there, then it can't do what you are designing it to do. That's the same with manifestation. It's the same with everything. Same with healing, all of that. So you look larger. Are you living near a cell tower? And then you come in closer to your house. Are there appliances and things that you can turn off at night? Can you turn your Wi-Fi system off at night? Can you have your internet in your home wired? And I would go to these extremes if you are sensitive and you find you have these symptoms and that you've assessed yourself and you know that it's not depression from some other cause, whether it's emotional depression, mental depression, or spiritual depression. If your doctor sees that there is nothing physically wrong with you, then I would definitely start looking at EMFs. Then when we get into turning things off at night, then I would also look at where are you placing your computer, your laptop, your iPad, your cell phone. Where are they at night? Have breaks from them during the day. And then I would also look at them as not carrying them on your body all the time. And that if you're carrying it on your body, if you're extremely sensitive, you can turn them onto airplane mode where they're no longer receiving signals, and then open it up when you are ready to address your cell phone or ready to receive calls. And there are many ways that you can help with removing EMFs from you. You can go as far as getting these EMF Repelling Pendants, and some of them are, some are better than others, but it really depends on you. So I can't really sit here and say, this one's the best one, and I like this company and this, because your energy might not like that one, and your energy might like the other one. So I would just research and find if you can buy the pendants and wear them and see if they feel better to you, and see if there's a return that you can do if they don't feel better, and then just keep advocating for your health. So a pendant is more of a reflective, because when we look at EMFs, the waves, they're like big bouncy balls. And just because you're wearing a pendant here doesn't mean it blocks your entire body. It means it's protecting this area right here. But it still can get in from the side, from the back, from the top, from the whatever, but it will reflect it away from you. So that is a benefit. But when we're looking at full body protection, this is what Jamie wants to do. Did you know this?
I'd love to hear it.
She used to have, what's she call it?
Like a suit of armor?
No, that copper box. Were you around when the copper box was here?
The psychomantium?
No.
Is it an organ box?
It was it was made out of copper screen, and it could sit 2 people or 1 person in like a big chair. And her friend George made it, and she got to keep it at the center for a while. And it was it's made from copper screening, a small size screen, and you make a any kind of frame that you want with wood or with metal or whatever, but the copper mesh has to overlay on every corner. So it is completely floor, ceiling, walls, and even the door has to be made specially to where the copper screen lays around the edging of the door so that when you close it, it all touches. They even have copper tape. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
It's a copper adhesive, and it comes in a roll, and you can peel it off, and then you use that to seal the edges and the sides, and so you're perfectly in a copper screen box. And that's how spy rooms are made. That's what the government uses. They put copper on the spy rooms, you know, the ones that are underground and concrete and all of that stuff. Well, the only thing that blocks cellular use, radio waves, electromagnetic frequencies, which is what Wi-Fi is copper screening. So they put copper screening everywhere around it, and you come in and you close it and you seal yourself in. Nobody can spy on you of what you're saying. Nobody, you can't turn your phone on, there'll be no signal. There's no radio in there, nothing works. And guess what? No electromagnetic frequencies that are coming in. All of a sudden your body is going, I'm not competing against anything anymore. I don't, it has all this freedom. And just by being in one of these boxes, if you're very sensitive to EMFs, is so cleansing and nice. So Jamie's big goal is she wants to build it around her bed. She'd open the door at night, can you imagine sleeping 8 hours with no competition, no EMFs, no more headaches, no more foggy head, great sleep, all of this. It's really wonderful. So if there's a little break in the screen, just like a little cut, you can come in and you can have cellular use. Because if one little wave gets in, it goes boom, 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 and it just bounces all over, and then it's full, just like the outside is, just by one little cut. So you have to constantly check it and seal it and protect it, and then you are EMF free. But that's for some of you that want the extreme. So some other side effects that technology is doing that I wanted to mention was the blue light on the computer screens, the phones, and the iPads, is that the blue light triggers the body to stay awake and to stay alert, and it will interfere with your sleep patterns if you're on it before you go to bed at night, which is no good whatsoever. And you can get apps to put on your phone or your technology that can change the blue light to a rose color light, or there's screens that you can put on it, and then you can manage the brightness and the dimness so that you don't have to deal with the blue light anymore. So it's not triggering the brain to stay alert and awake and focused, because it's the same blue light that's found in sunlight. And so when you're exposed to it after the sun goes down, your body isn't naturally doing the process of shutting down, calming down, and getting ready for bed. And then another thing that technology is doing as a side effect beyond EMFs is that the amount of information that's coming at us is so fast, and it's like multi-layered. It's the bells and the whistles and the information, and then the soundtrack is coming, and then you're forward thinking about what's happening next. And so there's so much activity being sent to the brain, then it's bombarding the brain, and it's training the brain like an athlete that this kind of work is successful, and that when it's not doing this kind of work, it no longer knows how to pacify itself or calm itself. And so it's very difficult if you are on these devices a long period of time, day in and day out, to then find the opposing end of the pendulum where you're resting or you're calm or you're in creative mode. So I suggest time frames around your computer, your iPad. Really choose what you're using it for. See if you can, and this is for highly sensitive people to EMFs, and you know you're that way if you have the headaches, if you have the dizziness, the foggy head, a little bit of nausea, if your sleep pattern is disrupted, if you feel like you have signs of depression but you've visited your doctor and it's not mental, emotional, or physical depression, it's just kind of something really elusive, I would really begin to look at the appliances and what you have around you technology-wise and start to manage them. And a remedy is set your time frames and earth yourself. Go barefoot, get outside, get into the ground, take up gardening, planting, weeding for your neighbor, whatever it is, because the earth energy is so distinctly different than our man-made EMFs that it kind of is the opposing end of the pendulum. It will really help you balance quite well. And relationships with animals. The relationships with animals are easier to do than relationships with people, because if you are inundated with EMFs and it's interfering with your energy pattern, it's slowing it down, right? So that it can't move the way that it wants to. It's kind of taking away its free form and its creativity, and it's irritating it in a way where it feels like it constantly needs to be aggressive to please itself. It's like an addictive thing. Like, I think even some scientists compare it to being addictive to a certain kind of narcotic drug, where you get the rev up and you just want more of it, which is similar to like the OCD, checking to see what your reward is and see how good you feel. Then when your energetic pattern gets used to this and you go to communicate to a human who's going to say words back to you and have a certain pattern back to you, you might not be able to manage them well, and you find that you have aggression to them and that your response is really not warrant for what the situation really is, but you can't really do anything about it because you're just revved up like this and you're like, I just need to go for a walk. I don't know why I'm just so irritated. And you can't figure it out. And it simply could be the EMFs and the relationship that you have with them. And so talking to an animal and having a relationship to an animal, they're not going to talk back to you. They're going to look at you and just be like, why aren't you petting me more? And so you just be like, whoa, petting, I can do petting. And and you start to pet and all of a sudden you get into it and your body drops, your heart rate drops, everything gets calm. I mean, it's really incredible how well a relationship with animals can be, even fish as well. Oh, heart rate. If you're super sensitive to EMFs, you can have heart murmurs and irregular heartbeats and flutterings, because our heart transmits EMFs and signals for it to beat regular. And so sometimes if you are a person who is very sensitive, which I mentioned the symptoms before, then your heart fluttering might be one of those symptoms as well. And this isn't for everybody, but I think what is for everybody is having a healthy relationship with technology and recognizing that you are an emotional being and you're here on Earth, and it's time to enjoy Earth. And though I'm very proud how far the people have come with technology, and I'm not advocating that you just stay away from it 100%, because I think that would put you behind the curve and maybe you won't be hireable after that, but is to set your time limits and make that balance for yourself. And if you're a parent, you'll have to be able to teach that to your kids as well. And I would definitely teach them the effects of the technology and how it trains the brain and how it traps the energy and slows it down so that you really can't express yourself the way that you're used to, because you're fighting this training or this EMF that's around you, bombarding you all the time. And do trials. Pull away from it. See how you feel. You know how you do detoxing with food? You can detox from technology. Take like 2 weeks, turn it off, go away. I triple dog dare you. You're like, Trust me, the shows will still be here. You can come back and binge watch all the other shows at a later date, but you can detox from technology. Be very picky about what you're doing. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Well, just heads up, Maitland, we're at a...
I already know.
Oh, well, then you are on top of things.
That's why I stopped.
I have a question because I have a feeling it's a question other people have as well.
Okay.
I've been told in the past that there are certain stones that can help with EMFs. Is that true? And if so, which ones are they?
Like crystal stones?
Yes, like black tourmaline or hematite, something like.
And quartz. There are certain quartz with the black tourmaline in it I like the most for rewiring. It's like a deflecting kind of part. So if you wanted to do those layouts underneath your bed, then it would deflect that from what's coming up underneath you. And so that would help, but you're still getting it from the sides because EMFs come from 360. So unless you're completely cased in something, you're not going to be 100% protected, but deflecting does help. It lessens how much is coming through your body. So if you want to wear the pendants, or if you want to sew tiny little pieces into the shirt or into the bra line or into the sleeves, and I've seen people do that and it works very well. Black tourmaline, hematite, and I would probably say a clear quartz as an activator for those.
Jamie puts black tourmaline in my office chair. I found some the other day. I was like, what is this?
That was for whoever sat in the chair because they're dealing with the computer.
I'm often dealing with the computer.
Yes, you are. So can we get a screen to go in front of it for you so that the light doesn't trigger your brain so much? And the reflection?
Well, I know a few. I know a few good apps for lessening blue light. One is Flux. Flux is a good. Flux, and you can find that online. It's free.
We'll hook you up, Jesse.
I know you will.
Lumineers, I love you so much, and you can send us your thoughts and your comments. Let us know. And if you are still watching right now, you're going to be enjoying our new website. I've seen it. It's really nice. It's coming out ASAP. I will see you later, alligators.
After a while, crocodile.
I'll see you soon, baboon. Come on, Jesse.
Bye-bye, butterfly.
I'll see.
Hasta mañana, iguana.
Got a jog, warthog.
Cut it loose, mongoose.
Ooh, that's the best.